True World Television. It is time to explore the True Wellness Connections.
Welcome again to the True Wellness Connection. My name is Claudine Salumu.
Today is Tuesday.
Especially on Tuesdays like this, we talk about a lot of topics.
Join Mrs. Claudine Salumu.
I am not saying you should not love yourself for who you are, but you should want to do something even better.
Victoria Masio.
You just have to be honest with yourself.
And Elizabeth Brimoh.
The way you live tells so much to the kids.
To talk health, wealth, parenting, relationship, finances, and life at large.
Because any negative thought, trust me, does never build anybody, can only destroy us.
Look deep inside your pocket, your bank account.
The way you handle situations at home matters.
The True Wellness Connections, every Tuesday on the True World Television, 5:30, Winnipeg.
I went through so much pain. By His grace, He made me victorious. I'm a winner. In the name of Jesus, I'm stronger. By the blood of the Lamb, I'm a winner. In the name of Jesus, I'm stronger. By the blood of the Lamb. I have failed many times. I have missed many chances.
My world was just a mess.
By His grace,
He made me victorious. I'm a winner. In the name of Jesus, I'm stronger.
Oh,
by the blood of the Lamb.
I'm a winner. In the name of Jesus,
I'm stronger.
I'm strong. By the blood of the Lamb.
I've done all I've been through. I have grown stronger, stronger. I've done all I went
Oh, have you come?
I've become wiser and full of faith. I'm a
I'm a
winner.
winner.
In the name of
In the name of
Jesus, I'm
Jesus,
stronger.
I'm strong. By the blood of the Lamb, yeah. I'm a winner. In the name of Jesus, I'm strong.
Yes, I am a winner. Oh, yeah. Yes, I am stronger. At the cross, He paid it all.
Through Christ, I can do anything. Let the weak say I'm strong.
I'm strong.
Let the poor say I'm rich.
I'm rich.
If you want to say I'm a winner,
I'm a winner.
I'm a winner.
I'm a winner.
I'm a winner, I'm a winner. Through the Lamb of God, I'm a winner, I'm a winner. In the name of Jesus,
I'm strong. I'm stronger. Yes, I am strong. I'm stronger. I'm stronger.
in the name of Jesus,
You are worthy.
you are worthy.
You are worthy.
Receive our praise.
You are worthy.
You are worthy. We lift your name high.
Oluwa, na you dey make me the winner. Eshe Oluwa, I no go fail never anymore. Eshe Oluwa, na you dey make me the winner. Eshe Oluwa, I no go fail never anymore. Eshe Oluwa, na you dey make me the winner. Eshe Oluwa, I no go fail never anymore. Anymore.
I no go lack
Anymore. I no go lose my breakthrough anymore.
I no go get broke.
I will never lose my blessing anymore.
Trouble no go follow me. Trouble no go follow me.
everybody. This is another Tuesday, and you know, with us in True Wellness Connection, it's always Beautiful Tuesday. Again, we are broadcasting from True Words television station. My name is Elizabeth Brimoh, and today we have a wonderful topic to talk about. And I'm not alone here in this station. I have two wonderful guests with me. You know one already because she has always been here. And she's sitting to my left. Her name is Claudine Salumu. She's wonderful. She's still in school. She's a nurse. And with time, you will hear from her. So you're welcome to this program today. And to my right, we have a wonderful guest here with us. His name is Dr. Adejobi Adeloye. Dr. Adejobi Adeloye is a medical doctor. He's the founder and principal of the Adejobi Consulting and the Nova Doc Amber Group. He also doubles as a constituent assistant to a Canadian MLA and Minister of Immigration, Education, and Advanced Skills. He is a seasoned consultant with the United Nations. He is credited with creating Nigeria's first e-medical emergency response system. He is a certified life coach and a strong believer in the ability of every individual to find their true purpose and their potentials. Above all, he is a Christian and is married with children. So you're welcome into our midst. We are so happy to have you today.
Thank you. Welcome, viewers.
Today's topic is for everybody. So I will advise you, mom, call your husband, dad, call your wife, and call your kids to get a cup of coffee or ice cream and just sit at the front of your television, because we are going to talk about what concerns everybody. You know, nowadays in schools, they've adapted this topic, which is mental health, into school curriculum. So even kids in kindergarten, they are learning how important mental health is. So we are talking about mental health awareness today. And even if you know so much, it will still be advisable for you to sit and listen, because you may get one or two things out of what we are going to discuss. So, Dr. Adeloye, for those that doesn't really know much about what mental health is, can you please tell us what it is?
Oh, well, medically speaking, I would try to refrain from using any form of medical jargon. It's all about your mental state, your state of well-being. There's really no health without mental health, and it's a platform whereby you're able to think rightly, and you're able to apply your actions positively towards what you're thinking of doing, or what you're thinking of, the actions that you're thinking of doing. So the baseline, the precursor for doing any action is what I'll simply describe as what we're going to be talking about today. You know, if we don't manage the things around our work, around our emotions, because these are possible triggers that can either sway mental health into the negative, or can help to boost it, you know, especially when properly managed. These are things that we're going to be talking about and providing solutions.
Okay. Thank you so much. You know, before, let me say, maybe 5 or 7 years ago, people don't really talk about mental health. You see, because some people, they've stigmatize it one way or the other. That if you mention mental health, then you must be cuckoo or something. So we need to go in there because it's so important. You don't need to stigmatize anybody that is passing through one thing or the other. Now we discover that 1 out of 5 women have depression or anxiety. And most of them will not talk about it. So, Dr. Adeloye, we have lots of women in our audience watching. What advice can you give women generally?
Oh, well, women naturally are, you know, if you compare them to men, they're good talkers, you know, naturally. So you get home and your wife or your girlfriend or, you know, or your daughter is not happy. She'll be, you know, she'll be the first to let you know, this is the way I'm feeling, and, you know, and then being their nature, they usually would talk. But once depression sets in, or once, you know, that snap point gets in whereby the person now begins to think, oh, I'm no good, I'm not worth it, or it's not worth it, it's not worth going, and the negativity begins to set in. That's when the person now begins to withdraw, begins to hibernate, you know, does not go out. You don't see the person coming out in the community.
That's right.
You don't see them coming to safe spaces, you know, where they can get proper help. That now becomes a problem. So if you know of anybody, what my advice most times is, if you know of anybody that used to talk before, that used to say a whole lot of things, and, you know, that probably was would look happy, and then suddenly you're seeing the person in you know, with different faces, showing signs of depression. I think you could encourage the person to speak up, or to let the person know that there are safe spaces to talk that would conceal their identity and would still keep their dignity intact, and would not reveal, you know, with some high degree of discretion, whereby they can talk with their ID being anonymous, you know, and still, because I know a lot of people are going through a lot of things, through so many things, you know, we just finished the pandemic, or just went through a pandemic where people had to migrate, had to port from working physically, you know, into working virtually or working from home. You know, so you can imagine after struggling through that process and now getting into the scheme, and then all of a sudden right now, hey, you guys get out of your shells and again come out, and then now you're now having to jump out and go and resume to work physically. It's an issue for so many now, because for some, because they started working from home, they probably sold their cars, or I don't need to use this, I don't need to use that anymore.
That's
but right now they have to resume a work, and then couple the fact that, okay, the kids are on holidays, and it's now a problem again for so many that now need to go to work, and then now becomes another challenge navigating having the kids now at home. Someone has to stay with them at home, and, you know, and then the finances, maybe getting funding, or getting a job, or getting work, or getting something that's going to increase your income, and coupled with some other emotional status, or some psychological or emotional happenings or situations that could send a woman to cry, or to be sad, or to be emotionally unstable. You know, it's a big bother right now, whereby that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about. And if you have anybody, or if you know anybody, or if you are someone who feels there is help, there is need for help to come to you, feel free to reach out. There are safe spaces, and there is help that would definitely get to you.
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that. Claudine, what do you have to add to that? What has been your experience so far with women and mental health?
Thank you so much for the question. Yeah, mental health is mentally, our mind is a part of us, can suffer the same way any other part of our body can. And most of women, because mental health usually starts by affecting our emotion. Women, we are very emotional people, and but what is more important is that we just want people to know that it's okay not to feel okay, but it's not okay to isolate yourself as a result of a situation or event that may have happened to you. It's like most of people, they get to isolate themselves because there's something that's going on in their life that beyond their control. And instead of sharing their feeling and their emotion with somebody that cares, they just decided to just deal with it by themselves. But when you are standing alone, sometimes you get the point whereby you hit the dead road, whereby you don't have no another way to go, and then you face depression. But if you are able to go out there and share with somebody how you feel, there is a help there, as the doctor says. There is a help there. It's so important that you have to be able to acknowledge how you feel, and you have to be able to be compassionate about yourself. Because once you are compassionate for yourself, you'll be able to say, hey, I don't feel well. Things are not right. I don't like this situation. Speaking is the best thing you can ever do. And you can never go wrong. It's okay to feel the way you feel. And you are right. And you have to honor your emotions. And don't hide it. Because once you hide it, then you are done. But when you speak out,
that's right,
you are empty and you are free. And that's the kind of person I am personally. When it hurts, it hurts. Somebody have to know that it hurts. So that you can be able to seek guidance, seek counseling. Let somebody come into your life, help you make decision about those painful events that may have happened to your life. Related to raising up kids, marriage breakdown, relationship which does not work. So you need somebody to come in and just help you navigate what you may be going through. So women, we are all more prone to depression, to so many things, just because we are just lacking information on how to handle ourselves, on how to manage things, and the isolation kicks in. And when isolation kicks in, depression, anxiety, and everything, when you don't see where you are going, then that's how mental health begins.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So what are we saying? Ladies, women, young, old, if you're going through anything, you need to open up. Don't keep it to yourself, because that will be the beginning of problem. When you're silent, you shut your mouth, you don't want anybody to know what you're going through, then you will start having issues. Now, Dr. Adeloye, there are lots of doctors that before you say Jack Robinson, they will list so much medications for you. Just telling them that you have a headache, they will list like this, meso. There are some words that you cannot even pronounce that they will give to you as prescription. So, how can we, I don't really know how to put it, what can we do to that?
Okay, I would like to start by saying, one, for any emergency, please call 911 or get to see your family doctor. For a non-emergency or any sign of withdrawal, or any sign of depression or any sign of isolation that you've noticed, it's good to document it or to note it down and speak with the person. Try to engage the person, because at times when you're passing through a lot of for some of my clients that I've had in the past, because I'm referring to when I was still practicing and before I retired, I had a lot of clients that needed psychosocial support, that needed mental counseling, that had passed through cases of kidnapping, cases of that needed evacuation, that went through some form of insurgency, and then some, that passed through, women issues, and emotional issues, relationship issues. They were promptly referred to the appropriate counseling guide, and which they got for free. And if there is need, and your doctor determines that you may need certain medication, then your doctor will be the best to give you relevant medical advice and medication, which you can follow for the period and the course of the medication. So, but for little things, for the initial things that you would notice, it's good to encourage the person to speak out, noting that whatever you're saying, it's not going to be used against you. It's not going to be used to stigmatize you. It's not going to be used in such a way that you would now be regretting even saying it out. Right. Your confidentiality is going to be applied in full measure, and then your face is going to be totally anonymous. That's one of the things. That's one of the things the true word is trying to bring out, whereby your story, the eventual story is to have a constructive pathway of, oh, this was my situation, this was what I was passing through, but now, after passing through relevant counseling, relevant training, and then you now are introduced to relevant departments that can help you get the job, because the precursor could just be, lack of funds and lack of, because at times when you migrate or you get into certain environments, the tendency of, before I came here, I used to be this, I was this, I was comfortable, I was okay. And then all of a sudden, I'm in an environment whereby I am even trying to get an entry job, and it's just not working. And I have written like 50 resumes, I've submitted, but no one is calling me. There may be an issue with what you're writing or what you're submitting, So by the time you get linked up with certain departments that can help you out with that at no cost to you, then we can be on our way to getting a mindset that is stable, because once there's something to put food on the table, once there's something to buy, to put a shelter over you, making you at least taking you off from the homeless category, and there's something to put on clothes, buy your needs, buy your wants.
That's right. That
is the beginning of some stable state for certain individuals. Now, for those that has to do with emotional state, where there's life, there's hope. If a relationship is not working, now I'm not saying it has to be a do or die thing that you have to, then just move on. If it's for some that are going through a divorce or going through, this is not working out, it does not mean you have life. Make yourself the product. You have gold. Gold in your pocket has no value until it is put out in a place where it can be exchanged for kind of cash.
That's right.
You have, as long as you're an individual and you're still breathing, that means you have people, even if it's just your children, even if it's just your daughter or your son, looking up to you and learning from you without you even saying a word. So by the time you come out and you begin to just think about that thing, that service, that product that you would like to do, if money was not an issue, and then just start up on it. It could even be a story. You can write a book about it and start to sell. I think business, and I like business, and with this, just imagine now turning your story into a book or into a video or into or you get to be invited to be speaking that, oh, before I used to be fat. I didn't like people calling me fat. And then now, you know, I had to go through and, but now you're a celebrity. Now you're not smiling. That is what we intend to, that is the kind of story that we want. And that pathway is possible if you can speak out.
Thank you so much. Wow, that is so loaded. That is loaded. Yeah, you mentioned some things that you can easily change what you are going through to a better story. You can make your mess a message. You know, you can make the test you are going through a testimony. So you don't have to keep it to yourself. What we are saying is, open your mouth, talk to somebody. Don't keep it, because most of the time, for those that have had ulcers before, people always say that maybe they are thinking too much, or they've not been, they are not expressing themselves the way they should. So please, your mental health is so important. Yeah, the awareness month is May, but it's not too late when we're talking about it in July or any other time. What we want for you is to be you, to be your real self. All these agonies, you are not supposed to be going through it. Whatsoever you are going through, try to open up to somebody. You know, people always say that when you share your problem, it's half solved. So it will surely go a long way when you can find somebody you trust and you open up to them. Now, to ladies or women, you may be saying, oh, I've been disappointed before. I didn't know that I was talking to Global News or CTV. Yes, that may be a very bad experience. But I'm still telling you that there are good people out there. If you don't feel like talking to a lady, you can look for a good man that is your friend that you can easily open up to and just share what you're going through with them. It's going to help you. Now, Dr. Adeloye, you are a life coach.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit of what that entails?
Life coaching, it's about moving you from moving my mentees or moving the person I'm coaching, understanding where the person is, understanding who, you know, I'm making the person unlearn certain negative plugs around, you know, because at times you meet people and then they just tell you, oh, I'm a nobody. Or they tell you I'm nothing, I'm not worth. And then we try to remove all those negativity and get them to point zero, where you can say, I can. Where you can say it's possible. And then move them from that into, hey, what is the oil in your jar? What can you do? What product can you, you know, for those that want to run and get a job or get, you know, what certification do you have? Or what certification are you interested in doing? Or what kind of job do you want to do? Now, for those that want to run a career, we also ask the same questions and get them to move from point A towards their final destination or final goal. Now, for those that have product or services and are interested in being a startup or having a business, we also help in running them through idea generation, through product research and development. Then from there, we'll try to see if it's feasible, if it's workable within the environment where we are or where the person lives. It's a simple word for market feasibility, if you hear it anywhere. And then we now go a step further and validate that idea or that service or that product. So that's called market validation. So when we can channel all that towards the target market, we now run the person and help the person through the marketing fan, whereby the person can showcase the goal that the person has, or if it's for the person as a professional, we showcase the person as a professional. If it's a product or a service, we also do the same. And then we now run a bankable financial analysis, whereby if any banker sees it, if any investor sees it, it can show a good return on investment. Meaning it is something that any investor can willingly put and place funds on for it to run. And then from there we help the person and take the person through a process where the person can pitch successfully. You know, you need someone's money to run your idea or to run your project. You know, you need to be able to pitch in the shortest possible time. So running and then for organizations, we run them through their business processes, their organizational structure, and their business succession planning, so that whatever they have started in the past can still keep running. Whatever is not working can keep working. And, you know, at the end, everybody's going to smile, you know, and instead of chasing and being a broomstick, we encourage them to function as a broom. No matter how clean your broomstick, you serving as a broomstick, you're just like an island. And a broomstick will never sweep well unless it comes together as a broom. So as a broom, a full broom, we encourage collaborative measures rather than competing measures internally. You know, that way we work together with, the coach works together with the mentee and helps that person, you know, just like in football or in running or races, the coach would guide the trainee and help the person to win the gold.
Wow. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
Yes, doctor. I have a question for you, and I find it very interesting about this life coaching intervention. Yep. And as we all know, mental health illness can be a lifetime diagnosis, yep, whereby you have to deal with the symptoms the rest of your life. And as you said, mental wellness is not necessarily the absence of diagnosis. Mental wellness is just the capacity to be able to flourish in your everyday life, despite that you have a diagnosis that is there.
That's right.
So, doctor, somebody may be diagnosed with, let's say, bipolar or schizophrenia and all those kind of mental illness that are lifetime. So, as a life coach, if there is anybody who's following us here who is struggling with mental illness for years, maybe it's been hibernating themselves or cruising themselves, like they don't know how to turn that particular illness for life into something that can be an inspiration also to change the life of others, to let other people, to raise awareness that to say, you know what, I have got schizophrenia, but yet I'm flourishing. I have got bipolar, yet I am flourishing. How do you be a life coach to somebody who's following us, who want to see how he can use his or her diagnosis to be able maybe to promote that mental health awareness, and yet feel that actually this illness or diagnosis that I have, I feel like I'm becoming a blessing to somebody else who thought it was over. So how would you coach those people that are following us who maybe have lost hope to be able to come out and say, hey, this is the diagnosis I've been suffering with for so many years, and how would you coach them to use their diagnosis to make their life flourish while changing the life of others?
In a simple way, mental diagnosis is not a death sentence, and it's okay not to be okay.
Correct.
So as long as you're living, you're fine. Whatever you feel makes you feel good, let me know. Or let your confidant know. Get to speak out. Now, like I said earlier, whatever you're saying can become an audiobook that will be an inspiration to so many. Whatever you're going through can be a book that can be an inspiration to so many. A lot of just note at one corner that so many people are also passing through what you're going through. You're not the first, and you may not be the last. And noting this, that you can still achieve, you can still create goals for yourself and achieve every part of it. Once you can set your mind to it that it's possible. See, once your mind can move from that 0 point or from that negative point to that 0 point, then to a point where you can say, oh, whatever the mind can think, whatever the mind can conceive, it can achieve it, regardless of the diagnosis, then it's possible.
Wow. Thank you so much, and thank you for that question too.
Another question later, not now.
Okay. I'm just thinking of a scenario of a wife having maybe having issues at home with the husband, and it has not been going well for some time. However, this lady doesn't have a friend around to talk to. What do you think? Because for ladies, it doesn't just come suddenly. It starts from somewhere and it builds up. So which advice can you give to such a lady on, because most of the time you will just see that somebody is changing the way they dress, the way they look, you know, the way they function in society.
What I would say is, well, the pandemic has opened up a lot of opportunities, and one of it is what I'm going to share right now.
Okay.
There are options, or there were options then, that, hey, what option do I have? Physical, 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 physical. But now you have physical, physical, virtual, virtual, virtual. Everybody has a phone. So whoever is in that category right now, I'm sure you have a phone. And you have contacts on that phone. So even if you don't have physical or like neighbors that you can talk to, or people that, there are still people on your phone that you can send a text to, that you can still pick, you know, because existing as an island may not really be the best.
That's
you
right.
know, it will just aid more in concealing what is still burning you. And once you carry fire, and it's your other, you know, no matter how fire is, it burns. You know that. So that one doesn't not suffer in silence. It's good to just text. You can send a message to someone, can we see? Or, you know, you can send a message to a confidant. You can send a message to, you know, there are numbers on your phone. Now, the environment where we are at the moment, and around the world, will still give room for certain social workers that can add value, or that can listen, you know, because at times what you need is just a listening ear.
That's right.
That can hear your side, or what you think, you know, what you're going through, what you're passing through. It may not be complete. You may start from the middle. You may start from the end. Just start anyhow, because
That's
you're
right.
comfortable with the person.
Yeah.
So once you can get that one or two people that you can readily confide in, or that you can open up to, without the, you know, the fear of, oh, whatever I'm saying right now may turn into a family matter, or will turn, you know, because there are some that it's not everybody that smiles at you at times that likes you, you know.
That's
but
right.
so you should be just think about that a problem said, you know, something spoken about is already towards a solution.
Yes.
So once you can say it, if you can't say it, you can text it. If you can't text it, you also have access to a doctor. You have your family doctor. In a way, just let your doctor know by you can write a note, and when you get to see your doctor, maybe your next appointment with your doctor, drop it. Your doctor would find a way, you know, because at times you have both parties come in to see the doctor, and then the husband probably does not want to leave. You know, there are so many ways to get him to be out. You know, there could be an errand. It could be go get us this. Would like you to pay or make a payment for this, or would like to check your card. You know, wherein there will be that space for you to open up, and it's going to still be discreet. It's going to be kept confidential, and there will be a way to, you know, because at times women go through abuses, abusive, or maybe they're in an abusive relationship, and they are afraid to talk, or they're afraid to speak out. It's good to speak out.
Wow.
I have a question for you, Doctor.
Yes.
So another question is that we all know that in our communities there's a lot of substance use, mental health issues. You know, substance use induced mental health issues.
Yes.
And that is huge in our community.
Yes.
And the truth is, there's really less fundings that will support the recovery process for those people. And as a result, the cheapest ways is just, you know, maybe prescriptions. And when we have to do mental health, really, we have to look at people holistically. What brought us to this stage, to where they are? Like, they may show up at emergency, maybe some they have for substance use induced psychosis and those kind of stuff. And when you look at them holistically, is that do they really need a pill? Yes, I understand, because some of them, they have symptoms that they are flying all over the place. Even for you to be able to give them a needle or to help them, you have to be able to manage those symptoms to bring them back to themselves. Then once the symptoms are being managed, and they will bring those people back to themselves. So what do you think would be the best approach in that we can be able to implement in our community to be able to really manage mental wellness, promote mental wellness, you know, recovery-centered approach? And we know that therapies are the most expensive. Not everybody can afford. They can give you a pill, but to be able to afford like a cognitive behavior therapy, because that's what you need to be able to learn and understand how substance use is leading you to where you are today, you know. And but for you to be able to get a complete recovery, and you need those therapies, which I'm telling you, it's not anybody can afford that. If you had the power to change the system, how do you think you would advocate for mental health problem in our city?
What I would do is, if I had the power, what I would do is, I'll create different programs. I'll create programs on different phases. I'll create programs that would address prevention of the triggers.
I like that.
Towards mental health. Aside from programs that would address at prevention level, I would also focus on recovery and rehabilitation. You know, because people coming out from say recovering after some course of pills, or after some substance use withdrawal, at times could have withdrawal symptoms, which the course would help address. And then by the time people come around and they have all that, I want to make sure that they go through some schooling, some training that can help get them back on their feet. Because you have certain instances whereby you have an individual that used to be a worker somewhere, that used to maybe had a job or had a business that was flourishing, and then all of a sudden passed through some things, probably lost money or lost, the business went sour, and that had that's left a huge toll on the person's mindset or psyche. That in itself, bringing the person to point zero where the person is fine, or where the person is at, okay, fine, I can start all over again, would now be instantly followed with, okay, what can you start all over again? How can you... So, programs that would address at prevention level would help to make people aware of possible safe spaces that you can go to. You're feeling threatened, you're not feeling safe, you're not feeling good, you're feeling, or you need whatever, that you can go, and all you need to do is just walk in there and you're going to be accepted. That it will be at prevention level. And then at rehabilitation level, is also where you can get help. Like, say you even want to go somewhere and you don't even have a phone to call. Like, you don't have someone to talk to, and you don't have a phone to call. Probably it's been taken from you, and you're probably a teen, and you've already had a taste of some fentanyl or some substance, and you want to share your experiences or how you're feeling with someone. There are safe spaces you can go. So and there's funding right now that I would encourage non-profits to apply, that can help support the safe spaces that you're creating. Because if you don't know about it, then you may not be able to apply, because that's what I'm going to divert so much funding into. And I believe with that, with the preventive, with the rehabilitation, and then with the people that can build capacity, that can build capacity for teens, that can build capacity for adults, that can build capacity for regardless of gender, so that everybody is all inclusive, the community is inclusive, and then the community sees the program as theirs, then it is sustainable. That way it's going to, you end up creating something that is going to outlive you.
That's right.
Doctor, I'll vote for you if you post. I'll vote for you, because that's what we really want to see. So, since we are still talking about this mental health awareness, we really want people to know, in our community, we may know somebody who is addicted to drugs, to alcohol, any kind of addiction. We just want to let you know that those people, all they need is love. They need to be understood. They need to be welcomed. You need to understand it is not their fault, because what we are seeing is that when somebody is addicted to drugs, to alcohol, to so many substance use, we turn to bully them in our community. At the end of the day, when we bully them and we don't embrace them, it's like, oh, you are not allowed to be facing the addiction. Like, let me say, like a cigarette. There are so many people who are addicted to cigarettes. They don't like to be smoking. They wish, because of what? That nicotine in it have led them to be in the same way. The same thing, alcohol can lead you to be attached to it. And there is a way, there's a possibility to be sober again, but it's a long process. And that's what the doctor is saying, that we need to invest ourselves into many programs that can be able to help those people who acknowledge, because the first step you have to acknowledge that I am addicted to alcohol, I am addicted to these drugs, I need the help. Then if you acknowledge that you need the help, we want to be able to have community places whereby people can feel comfortable, where people can accept to be vulnerable. That is a big one. Say, I am addicted to alcohol, man, I don't know how to get out of it. Once you say, oh, I'm addicted to cannabis, whatever the kind of drugs may be, accept it's okay that you happen to go through that way. It's okay. So we just want to be able to embrace you, to come, there is a help. You may be going some symptoms. Yes, there is a medical prescription that can help you manage and deal with your symptom to the point that you can be safely be handed over to the community now to help you now come back to your feet. So let us all in our community learn. The same way you can have high blood pressure, say, oh, my blood pressure is high. People here say that all the time. We don't blame them. We are like, oh yeah, just take the pills. Oh, you know, my diabetes is like this. You know what? It's the same thing. You should be able to say, hey, man, I started smoking that marijuana now, man. Yeah, I feel like I'm being hooked up to it. It's okay to feel that way. So that's what we want in our community. Let us encourage people to speak out, to acknowledge that, you know, when you started to smoke marijuana, when you started to take beer, your intention maybe was not to be addicted.
That's
but
right.
you find yourself addicted. It's okay. We want to be able to love you. We want to be able to embrace you. We want to be able you to know that there is a help out there. It doesn't have to be to dig you to be on the street. You don't have to be homeless as a result.
That's right.
So that's what we are trying to raise awareness, to know you are not alone.
Yeah.
The community standing behind you. And it is not your fault. It's a health issue like any other health issue we do have on a daily basis.
Thank you so much. And thank you to Dr. Adeloye. I have 2 questions more for you.
Okay.
Now, I want to ask you, Africans, I'm talking about men now, they don't like talking. They don't want anybody to know what is going on with them. They don't know. They don't want anybody to know. They don't want. In my life, is in. There are some men that they don't even want to cry in front of another person. So, if they are going through any mental health, how will the wife or their daughters know what to do?
That question is a real tough one, and but I'll try to answer it as broad as possible. Now, I'll still go back to the trigger factors. Masculinity in so many parts of the world is seen as degradable when you see the man crying, or when you see the man complain, or when you see the man sulk. It's seen as, oh, that is not a, be a man, you know.
Tough it up, man.
When you toughen things up, you know, it's at times it could burn you, because you have so many things that you're thinking about. Now, in the African man has something called the male ego, the male ego, and that ego makes him naturally place himself as the breadwinner or the the primary income generator. Once that is out, for some reason, for whatever reason, either through the person has some ailment, or the person can't work, or the person has some injury, that could be a precursor to a certain show of, you know, certain concealed anxiety. You know, so at times you have them having raised blood pressure, but no one's gonna they just look at you, they don't say anything. They'll rather look for something that is going to temporarily take the mask whatever they're passing through, like alcohol or certain substances that would mask it. Obviously, the reality will come back once they go to the washroom.
Yeah.
You know, now it could also be on relationship breakdown, because men also have emotions that they are also good at concealing. You know, some are very good at concealing emotions. So certain relationships not working could lead to certain desperate moves, and you know, at times a desperate man or a depressed man could do so many signs and wonders that that are undesirable. You know, so because at times suicide has been noted in successful people that are probably passing and going through some psychological or relationship or emotional situation.
That's right.
So that could also affect the mind state, regardless of the success story or the state of finances that the person has. Now, the last that I'm going to touch on are a few things that men don't, a lot of men don't want to talk about. I'm going to mention the full meaning of ED is erectile dysfunction, where they feel, oh, because of age or because of medication or because of certain things, you know, they're not able, or because of the, you know, like the way I put it, maybe their Volkswagen, let me say their Beetle, or I'm looking at a small car, you know, and their wife is maybe Mercedes-Benz or you know, some high efficiency taste. Urge is more in the woman, you know, for some reason. At times that could be a reason for some mental disarray.
That's right.
So it's good to talk, speak, speak out. You know, because if you can speak out, it would help. You know, when you find yourself within a community whereby it's safe to share, just sharing alone, you would find out that maybe your solution is probably someone else's story.
That's right.
Okay, so by the time you get into safe spaces which are available, you can get the ready help that you need.
Thank you so much. And for men that are watching and you are thinking that, oh, that is not for me, it would be good if you can just listen, get your jotter, get your pen, jot things down. You know, all these things that we are sharing is for your good and our own good. We are not just here just to talk about mental health, but we are all learning one way or the other. So please, if you are going through anything as a man, open up to somebody. If you don't want to tell your wife, tell your friend. Somebody that's just open up. Don't keep it inside. Because you know what? Most of the time, when we're supposed to talk about something that is going on within and we are not talking, it can lead to a bigger problem in future. So it's good as soon as you discover that, wow, this thing is not working the way it should, then please talk to somebody. Now, you are a Christian.
Yep.
So I want to ask you, there's some people that really believe that there is no issue called mental health. It's just that maybe the person is not really sleeping well.
It's not praying hard enough.
So they believe that they can easily pray and it will go away. So what can you say? How does yes, we believe in God. How can we undo, or how does it relate to mental health?
I migrated from a country that believes so much in culture and religion.
Yes.
And in this with this too, you know, we have certain major precursors that tend to fight the sphere of medical practice. Biblically, Jesus is seen as the great physician. So when you say you want to pray, yes, prayer is good. But if you're passing through anything, aside from talking to God, which you can do in your closet, please find someone physical, find someone human that you can talk to and that can counsel you.
Excellent.
So I refer to a few departments that can help. In most churches that are balanced, we still have what I call medical team or counselors or people that can listen to situations, to what you have to say. They
That's
can
right.
listen without being judgmental, without being analytical, without being you know, without pointing any fingers, without saying you are wrong. They would just listen. It's good to identify such departments and speak up.
That's right.
Because when you speak up in a place where you know you're safe, then yes, prayers would go the spiritual. You need to take action in the physical. You can't sit and expect ripe cherries to appear on your laps just by praying. It doesn't work that way. It's good, faith is good, but faith without works is dead.
That's right.
So the works is, see, show me your faith, I'll show you my faith by my works. Meaning, aside from me having the faith and the belief that, yes, this would go away, that does not remove the fact that I have to follow the course of the medication that I was given by my doctor.
That's right.
You know, because it's meant to work. You know, when the Israelites were struck, you know, and they were struck by snakes, there was an action. When they prayed, there was an action that they were meant to do. They were meant to look at the brazen serpent. Okay? That action is physical. So aside from the prayer, I'm not against praying.
No, it's good.
I'm of the opinion that everybody that needs help, you need to talk. You know, biblically it says ask and you shall receive. You ask for help, you receive help. If you don't ask, if you don't, you get a no. You get a no to your help. If you ask, then you receive.
That's right.
So what I'll still say is get a department where you can speak out in confidence, and then you can continue the prayers. Otherwise, you'll keep praying and keep suffering in silence. Well, to refer to an example in, you know, in Africa, where the lady was, I would want to mention names, but the lady was a notable lady, and she was passing through a whole lot. But she would come to church and she would sing. And she would sing, you know, such that the songs that she was writing and singing were really, really powerful. You know, it was conveying a whole lot, and it was actually paving way for so many people
That's right.
that did not know that what she was passing was even bigger than what they were thinking, you know. And it was when the lady passed that all sorts of what would have been nipped in the bud a long time before then was now being spilled out after the lady had passed. Please speak out. Whether you're a lady, whether you're a man, please speak out.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Today has been excellent. You know, mental health awareness is for everybody. Yeah, you are knowledgeable, you know this, you know that, yes. But still, you need to check. You need to check. You need to be very, very careful to know, okay, this is the right thing. What I'm doing is good. What I'm doing is not the right thing. So that is why moms, dads, kids, please, you know, especially for those that in a family try to watch each other, try to look after each other. The mom's health is everybody's health in that home. Dad's health is everybody's health. Your well-being is everybody's well-being in that home. So we need to be very, very watchful. Look after each other. Oh, Jane is not herself. What is going on with her? You can easily ask her, Jane, is there any issue going on? So please, like Dr. Adeloye said, he has really helped us today. He has given us so much information, so much, where we need to prevent. After prevention, recovery, rehabilitation, all other things like that. Firstly, when you cite anything or you just discover that you are not yourself, you have your phone. Call 911. If you don't want to call 911, call a friend. You can easily talk over a coffee or lunch or dinner. And if you don't want to do that, just try to write things down or talk to your doctor. You know, for me, from what I can see, doctor, they are so, I don't know how to put it, confidentiality is so big to them. So they are somebody that you can easily trust. For those that have been let down by a friend or family member, talk to your doctor, open up. And for those that have been going through or they've experienced drugs one way or the other, you know, when you are taking all these drugs, it takes you to a high level that you cannot even control. It takes you to a state that is beyond your control. So for those that are experiencing that, please, you know, when you hear a drug's name, you are weak already, even without seeing the drug itself. Please open up to somebody. Go for help. And I believe you will surely get that help. The government is there. Your doctors are there. Nobody will be looking at somebody else passing through pain, agony, without helping. So, Claudine, what would be your last words to our audience today?
Okay, thank you so much. My last word to each and everyone who are following us is that I'm inviting you to acknowledge your feeling and honor it. The way you feel, acknowledge it and honor it. And seek the attention of how you are feeling. Never ignore how you feel. And I'm inviting you also to love yourself, to have compassion about yourself.
That's right.
Because if you are compassionate about yourself, you will be able to look after yourself. And you'll never be able to dismiss your feelings. Also, seek for help at any time. It's okay not to feel okay, as the doctor says. So, again, let us all know that mental health is real. And let us all be proud to say, I don't feel well. And if it's possible, take a wellness day, a mental health day off, whereby you say, today I'm going to go for shopping, for nails done, for eye shadow done, like anything you want to do to self-care. It is so very important. That's my last word to say.
Thank you so much. Acknowledge your feelings. Talk to your doctor. Pamper yourself. Dr. Adeloye, the last word to our audience.
Where there's life, there's hope. Where there's life, there's gold. Gold in your pocket is useless until you bring it out. So regardless of the diagnosis, bring out your gold and speak out. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. That has been a very good, what will I say, conclusion. Please take good care of yourself. You don't have any other life to live. Take good care of you, because that is the most precious gift that you have. So please look after yourself. Don't just keep on postponing. Men, we know that you are, what will I say, you are our heroes, you are our all in all. But please take your mental health serious. Women, please speak up. Yeah, you have been disappointed. You are so down. You are this, you are that. Please take care of yourself. Talk to somebody if you are going through any issue, whatsoever it may be. And I believe we all, at the end of the day, if we are all good, if we are all healthy, if we all have good mental health, it's everybody's joy. Your joy is my joy. If we are good mentally, that is my joy. If I'm good mentally, it's your joy. So thank you for today. That is all that we are going to say about mental health. Make sure you enjoy this beautiful day. The sun is still shining and the weather is still good. Make sure you enjoy it and see you next week. Thank you. Bye.
When it is Tuesday on the True World Television, it is time to explore the True Wellness Connections.
Welcome again to the True Wellness Connection. My name is Claudine Salumu.
Today is Tuesday.
Especially on Tuesdays like this, we talk about a lot of topics.
Join Mrs. Claudine Salumu.
I am not saying you should not love yourself for who you are, but you should want to do something even better.
Victoria Masio
You just have to be honest with yourself.
and Elizabeth Brimoh
The way you live tells so much to the kids.
to talk health, wealth, parenting, relationship, finances, and life at large.
Because any negative thought, trust me, does never build anybody, can only destroy us.
Look deep inside your pocket, your bank account.
The way you handle situations at home matters.
The True Wellness Connections, every Tuesday on the True World Television, 5:30 Winnipeg.
You are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.
Shalom peuple de Dieu, moi c'est le pasteur Roger Salumu. Je vous invite à pouvoir nous suivre. Nous avons une émission Sclow Fire chaque mercredi dans notre télévision chaîne True World TV.
We speak to
Ce soir,
il y a une onction de la puissance dynamique que Dieu met en vous, mes frères.
Deserve to be in your presence tonight, but all I can do is avail myself. True, I know that I've messed up so much, a lot of mistakes made, but all I can do is humble myself. Cause you say, as come as you are, I've come as I am, to nobody else but you. And if you can use anything, Lord, cause you can use anything, please God, here I am. So use me now, today I come, I'm available, I'm available, cause you are able to use me now, today I come, I'm available, I'm available, cause you are able. Here I am back to you. Here I am once again, Lord, I'm available. I leave my past behind, I choose to follow you, I choose to live for you, Lord, I choose to do your will. Cause you said, just come as you are, I've come as I am, to nobody else but you. And then if you can use anything, Lord, cause you can use anything, please God, here I am, Lord. So use me now, today you come, I'm available, I'm available, I'm available. Yes you are, cause you are able, oh, to use me now, I sing, yeah. I'm available, I'm available, I'm available. Yes you are, cause you are able. Whoa, my heart, my soul, my mind, all of me, I give myself away, away to you, Lord. With everything of mine, I surrender all now to you, Lord. Yes, I give myself away, away to you, Lord. Oh, it all belongs, it all belongs, it all belongs to you. My heart, my life, my everything, it all belongs, Hallelujah. So Somebody lift up your voice. Let's sing. Everyone,
I'm available.
oh yes, God.
I'm available.
Here I am, Lord.
'Cause you are able.
From the bottom of your hearts, let's sing together louder.
I'm available.
I'm available. Oh, here I am. Let's take it to another level. Everyone say, heal me now, Lord. Yeah.
I'm available.
I'm available. God. Here I am. Oh, yeah. Don't pass me by today.
I'm available.
I'm available. Here I am.
'Cause you are able.
Bless me now, touch me now, heal me now, forgive me now, deliver me. Oh, yes you are. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you do, what you did yesterday. All you want from me is your heart, your mind, your soul, everything about you. Our God is able to do exceeding, abundantly, above all you could ask or even think. With the power that works within us. Just tell him, Lord, I'm available, Jesus.
I'm available. I'm available.
Hallelujah.
'Cause you are able.
You are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.